Every edition, Games Workshop releases starter boxes to try to get new players into the hobby. This time, they've got 3, and they've sent us a review copy of the Ultimate Starter Box, and it just might be the best starter they've ever released.
I'm going to take a look at what you get in the box.
And I'm going to be comparing all the new starter boxes, evaluating their price, and working out which box gives you the most bang for your buck.
And what is the out-of-box play experience? And how well does this introduce beginners to the hobby?
So join us as we guide you through this new range and hopefully help you decide if any of these boxes are the right fit for you.
It's tabletop time!
So I'm going to break down all these new products, starting with the smallest. The first new box is called the Introductory Set. And this box is priced at £40, $65 or 85 dollary-doos. This is very peculiar as it's one of the first products in a very long time where the direct exchange rate makes it a lot cheaper in Australia than America. This box contains 5 Infernus Marines, 10 Tyrannid Gaunts, a Ripper Swarm, 5 paints, the notoriously average Citadel starter brush, some clippers, a ruler, dice, gaming mat, and companion booklet. This product is interesting in that it combines basic hobby features with basic game features in a way that previous starter sets have not, making it ideal for brand new players and perhaps younger people who may be looking to pick up the hobby for the first time and get a little bit of a try of everything. I actually think that it would make a really good present for a teen who has expressed a lot of interest in trying out the Warhammer hobby. However, the rather small range of models and paints makes it a fairly shallow exploration of both the painting and gaming that means it probably wouldn't be suitable for just about anybody else. A significant bump up in price from the introductory set is the starter set. Priced at £65, $110 or 150 dollary-doos. That's Australian dollars. It contains the same minis as the first box, adding 5 Terminators, a Terminator Captain, 10 more Gaunts, 3 Von Ryan's Leapers, a Winged Tyrannid Prime, and a Psychophage. All the hobby materials are gone, but there are some gameplay reference cards. In terms of value for money, if we can guess based on the current retail price of kits, this box will offer around 70% added value. Overall, I feel that this box is a bit of a miss. I'd be curious to know what you think. The models inside are not comprehensive enough to be a fighting force in their own right. There are no hobby tools, and there's no rulebook, which makes it a kind of weak starter set for new players. As well as that, a lot of the models in here, in terms of characters, are single models you may not want duplicated across your army. However, if you're really looking to expand your Leviathan armies and just add some models to the pile, I do think this is a really good value box just for minis. While more expensive again at £125, $199 or 300 Australian dollars, the box we got sent today, the Ultimate Box, to me feels like a more focused product. Because the additions in this box are critical. We have only got 6 more minis with a Terminator Librarian and 5 Barb Gaunts over that starter set. But we're talking almost double the price. So what do we get? Well, we get a really rather nice selection of a new terrain kit in the form of the Imperial Bunker. And we also get this. A small format core rulebook that for me is actually a very desirable item because it's far easier to use on the gaming table than a massive tome with 200 pages of lore and art that while it's really cool, I don't need to take to every game. Currently, this box is the only place you'll be able to get this easy reference play version of the core rules. Crucially, those mini editions also expanded both forces to a fully legal and playable combat patrol, which means each side of the box is a fully self-contained force that you can play in a game system supported by Games Workshop. Overall, in terms of minis value, the box does offer around 65% added value, with a lot of that being attributed to terrain and this rulebook. So, compared to past boxes, it's clear one thing has changed. The price. Everybody knows Games Workshop prices have risen out of sync with inflation, and things are getting more expensive generally. However, when we compare it against the rest of the Games Workshop products in isolation, these products are quite good value. My appraisal is overall, I think Games Workshop have actually done a really good job this edition. I think the introductory set is probably one of the best, if not the best, new player boxes Games Workshop have ever made. And that really comes down to the mix of combining enough hobby material materials and minis to let someone actually try all aspects of the hobby in one place. The Ultimate Box, on the other hand, with its inclusion of robust game boards, terrain, and fully playable combat patrols, feels like the superior product. It has that exclusive small format rulebook and a price that's about 30% cheaper than Leviathan was. I even rate it potentially as a better box than Leviathan for new players getting into the game, as Leviathan's price point was starting to get a little too high for most people who aren't already very invested. It seems like a great buy for two players who know what they want and want to split the game and get started playing Warhammer. And everyone has a balanced force that's supported and capable of playing full games with each other without the addition of any other miniatures. So you might have seen various breakdowns and Warhammer community articles on these boxes, but we've actually got it. So it's about time we take a look inside. So let's ask Murray the metaphorical question.
What's in the box today?
What's in the box? Let's take a look at the simple contents that's in here. We've got starter cards that you can just refer to, what you want to play the game, handbook for assembling it, some lore, basic rules, some chapters. We've got the core rulebook. This is an important one. This is just the full rules, stratagems, maps, missions. You can get it free online as well. That's worth noting. But if you want a nice little actual physical copy of the books, that'll be $110. On to the actual meat of everything. In this box we have 5 Space Marine Terminators, 5 Infernus Marines, 1 Terminator Librarian, 20 Tyranid Termagants, 3 Von Ryan's Leapers, 5 Tyranid Barbgaunts, 2/3 of a legal Ripper Swarm, 1 Psychophage, 1 Tyranid Prime and Space Marine Terminator Captain sharing a sprue. They homies. We've got a full 4 sprues of terrain. That's actually more than I thought there would be. So we've got a bunker and some defensive barricades. On top of that, you're gonna get bases, of course, some measuring tapes. Going away from the plastic lengths that were basically just whips and weapons of mass destruction that were absolutely terrifying when you see people unbox them for the first time. But you also get a gaming mat. It's actually it's decently thick card. It's not just paper or something. That's actually more substantial than I thought it would be. Let's do a quick unwrap of this, shall we? That went pretty well, I think. That looked nice. So, oh, we've got a dead little Tyranid. Oh, it's awful. Oh, and another hand. What? One half. Oh, nice. So we've got the full official sized game board that you can just pull out and play upon. You don't need to work out on, your local coffee table, how big an area you need to set up. You've got this pre-established. Boom, it's there. But something I just noticed putting this out, it's double-sided. Oh, that's cool. We've got a rocky terrain as well, plus more dead Tyranids. I think that's a bit biased, but whatever. So you've got twice the value with your gaming board, you've got a lot of miniatures, and you've got some terrain into the mix, as well as all the context you need. Rulebooks, data cards, all the dice and measuring tapes as well. So that's what's in the box.
So you might have noticed I'm filming in a slightly different setup. This is actually our roleplay setup, where myself and Murray and Jazza and Jen all roleplay over on Tabletop Time Roleplay. And we've actually just started a brand new campaign that we're really excited about, and episode 1 is live right now.
It's called Call to Quest, and think Stranger Things meets D&D.
We're all playing 2 characters each, teenagers entering their freshman year of high school as they also explore high fantasy characters reminiscent of the cartoons from the 80s in a D&D setting. It's a lot of fun, it's a lighthearted romp, and we're really excited to share it with you.
All of our sessions have amazing sound designs, and it's also a podcast too, so if you want to listen on the go, you can. It also features custom art done by our in-house artist, Alicia.
Not only that, it's the first time we're showing off us using Gateway Roleplay, which is a roleplay system we're also developing for use on the channel and for everyone else that's a prototype right now. So if you want to find out more about that, go check that out on Tabletop Time Roleplay as well.
The first episode of Call to Quest is now live, so you can go check it out, and links are down in the description below.
This live play is something that's really near to our heart. We love telling these stories, and we really just love sharing them with people. So it would mean a lot if you're into live plays, if you could go check out Tabletop Time Roleplay and try out the first episode of A Call to Quest. Thanks, let's get back to the Warhammer box.
Now, when it comes to playing 40k games, I may not be the most experienced. I'm really interested in painting and the lore, but 10th edition has got me really excited because they've released Combat Patrol. Combat Patrol boxes are a nice little bite-sized chunk of an army that allow you to play one another. There are now data cards available which allow you to look at your unit's rules at a glance. I should also mention that the Combat Patrol rules are actually free for now if you want to go check them out. As Dave mentioned before, this Ultimate Starter set actually contains 2 Combat Patrols, one for Space Marines and one for Tyranids. I recently played my first game of Combat Patrol and I used my Sisters of Battle. So it was really nice to be able to pick up a box that just had everything I needed to play the game. But before I would have had to look at really complicated army lists and not being sure on what I could or couldn't build as a new player. Plus, the Combat Patrol also gives you a variety of models to paint, and you're not painting the same troops over and over again. And I really appreciate that. And that's why I think the value in this box is actually amazing. You get 2 Combat Patrols so you can verse each other, split it with a friend, or you can even take one of the armies and verse someone else who has a different army. If you're trying to paint a small force, don't get me wrong, it can be very overwhelming for a new painter. But starting off with what this box offers will absolutely help you expand your army. Using Combat Patrol as a starting point means that there's less rules to follow along with, making it a fantastic way to learn the basics of the game. And once you've got that all down, you can even expand your force into something bigger, or maybe even try a different one. Spooky. So why don't we show you what your ultimate box could look like with some fancy reveals.
So we hope you enjoyed the video and got some value out of that. This is our first time getting sent a Games Workshop product in time for the embargo date, which is
exciting.
It's really exciting. Now, usually when that happens, I think we want to paint up the contents of the box, right? But these models are exactly the same as in Leviathan, and we've been working on them for weeks, so you already know what they look like.
We've done that.
We also have a battle report coming up too.
I know we've been saying it for a while, but we promise it's going to be really cool. But first we have to show you how we painted all the Leviathan stuff, and we have to do the pre-prep for the battle report and some virtual stuff that we don't know if anyone else is doing out there. So stay tuned, subscribe, like, and keep doing some hobby.
Yeah.